Micturition. Micturition or urination is the process of emptying urine from the storage organ, namely the urinary bladder. The detrusor is the smooth or involuntary muscle of the bladder wall. The urethral muscle consists of external and internal sphincter. The internal sphincter and detrusor muscle both are under autonomic control. The external sphincter, however, is a voluntary muscle under the control of voluntary nerves. The bladder normally accommodates up to 300 to 400 milliliters in adults. When the bladder is distended, it sends signal to the brain, which is perceived as full bladder sensation. When the bladder is full, stretched receptors in the wall of the bladder sends nerve impulses to the sacral region of the spinal cord. By a way of parasympathetic response, signals return to the bladder and stimulate contraction of the muscle of the bladder and relaxation of the internal urethral sphincter. This part of reflex is involuntary and is predominant in infants and young children. As the central nervous system matures, it acquires voluntary control over the external urethral sphincter. Urination is controlled mainly by micturition center in the pons. This center receives sensory signals from the bladder and communicates the cortex about the approximateness of urinating at the moment. At times when it is not convenient to urinate, the center sends back an inhibitory signal to keep the sphincters closed and prevent voiding. When you wish to urinate, this inhibition is removed. The spinal cord instructs the muscle of the bladder to contract and the sphincters open to let the urine out. When any physical movement or activity such as coughing, laughing, sneezing, or running happens, it puts pressure, that is stress, on the bladder, causing leakage of urine. On an average, 1.6 to 1.8 liters of urine is excreted per day. The quantity of urine depends on the consumption of fluids like water, fruit juices, etc. It increases when the intake of fluids increase and decreases with the decrease in the consumption of fluids.